All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another NBA regular season video. In this video, we're going to talk about the NBA Cup. We're going to talk about the teams heading to Las Vegas to play in the semifinals. We're going to talk about teams that lost, the teams that won. We're going to talk about players that stood out to me. We're going to talk about everything that has been the last couple days as the 9th and the 10th of December, NBA wise. So if you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment it down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. So we're gonna try to go in order here. I might jump around and reference other games here and there because I have just watched them all before recording this video. So yeah, might jump around, might reference some other games, but we do have the matchups. Okay, let me tell you guys the matchups first, and then we can talk about the games and stuff. Let me pull it up real quick here. We will be getting. We also saw it in the thumbnail. Um, yeah, you also saw it in the thumbnail, but we are getting, um, oh well, we had, and now we're getting, put it that way. The Magic defeated the Miami Heat, they advance. The New York Knicks defeated the Toronto Raptors, they advance. That's the right side of the bracket, so we will see the Knicks and the Orlando Magic in Las Vegas on the 13th of December. And then on the other side of the bracket, we had the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Phoenix Suns. They advance. And then we had the San Antonio Spurs beat the Lakers, surprisingly. Shockingly. We'll get to that when we get to that game. They advance. So we have Oklahoma versus the Spurs on the 13th as well. All four of those teams will be heading to Vegas to play. And then on the 16th, we will get the Emirates NBA Cup champion. Let's dive into these games, though, because I do have some thoughts. We're not going to go too deep into the games, but we will talk about some things I noticed, some storylines, some headlines that I think are important to talk about. But the first one here, let's talk about Orlando versus Miami, the Battle of Florida. Um, the Orlando Magic won this game 117 to the Miami Heat 108. And man, was this a was this a crazy game? Um, I haven't seen the Orlando Magic arena like popping like this in a minute. It was you could just tell from watching it that the arena was bumping. It was incredible. The vibes are great. I don't know if it was because it was the Battle of Florida. I don't know if it was because the Miami Heat beat the Orlando Magic a couple days prior to this in just a normal regular season game. Um, but both teams played well. Both teams had all their starters in double digits. Um, both teams got some heroic performances from some people. And yeah, I want to talk about Orlando first, though, since they are the team advancing, and then we'll talk about the Miami Heat. Um, man, oh man, no Franz Wagner for the Orlando Magic, but they have Paulo back. Paulo's been back a couple games. Desmond Bane has been heating up, looking like he was worth all those assets they traded away to get him. And then, man, oh man, a guy that I have really, I've always he's always been on my radar, but the Magic have never really given him time to showcase his skill, and he's taken a really big leap this year. The box score really doesn't emphasize how good he played this game, especially in I believe it was the second quarter and the third quarter, not so much in the fourth quarter. But Anthony Blackman, 10 points, 5 of 15 from field goal, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, only 3 personal fouls, and he was so hot. He was so on fire that the announcer um, on during the game said he has become Tony Orlando, and I absolutely love that name. That is such a great nickname, Tony Orlando for Anthony Black, um, Mr. Orlando. He's just looked really good this year, and I've sat here every time we've talked about the Magic, and I say, I like Anthony Black. He's a nice player. And whatever everybody saw from him coming out of college has sort of come true. Obviously, he's a little more polished. I think this is third year in the league, and he's finding his spot in the rotation. He started this last night um, when they played. And the rest of the starting five, you have Paulo with 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. You have Wendell Carter, 14 points, 10 rebounds. Desmond Bain, 37 points, um, leading scorer for the night. Um, 6 rebounds, 5 assists for him as well. Jalen Suggs, 20 points. He looks like he's finding his groove as well. And off the bench, you had Tristan Da Silva, who I sat here last year when the Orlando Magic were just and I'd watch them every now and then and say, I like Tristan Da Silva. He's got a little something. He's got a little edge to him. He's got a little what's the word I'm looking for? Um, fire to him. And yeah, this team is heading to Las Vegas. They will play the Knicks. Do I have any other thoughts about this game? Um, just the just the pace of this team. And when I talk about pace a lot. Pace has been like a really big word on this channel recently, but the pace that this team plays at, the Orlando Magic, especially this game, because they sort of had to match the Miami Heat because the Miami Heat statistically, metrically, do not run a lot of pick and roll. So they're just going like one on one. They're getting downhill. They're getting baskets. They're trying to just run, push the pace, and all this stuff. And the Orlando Magic matched it, and they matched it more efficiently too. You look at some of these numbers, right, as a team for the Miami Heat. You look at this stuff 3 point percentage. They shot 24% from three. Terrible. They shot 45% from field goal. Not great. I mean, not terrible, but not great. And then you look at Orlando, they shot 47% from three and 51% from field goal. So the Orlando Magic beat the Miami Heat at their own game. And you haven't seen a lot of teams able to do that against the Miami Heat. Now, the Miami Heat's record it's 4-11. It doesn't scream like their style of play is just killing teams. It surprises teams though. That's the thing. And I think because the Magic lost to them a couple nights previous to this one, um, they were ready for that and they were aware of what the Miami Heat like to do, and they were aware that the Norman Powell situation in Miami, where he's just continued his great performance from last year, is a real thing. Bam Adebayo um, had a great first half of this game, not a great second half of this game. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the Orlando Magic, um, I want to say have turned the corner. I'm not sure if they can beat the Knicks. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But I like this team enough. I like it well enough, and I bet on them personally to I think what I say win 50 games. I'm not sure they're gonna get to 50. You're running out of space to get to 50 wins, but I've always maintained the fact in my heart that like this Orlando Magic team is at least a relatively good playoff team, and I think matchups like this and the atmosphere like this, the NBA Cup playing Miami. You were lucky enough to play Miami, and it was a battle of Miami, so you didn't really have to travel. It was a battle of Florida. You didn't really have to travel. Miami didn't have to travel, so you got the best. You got the best punch from Miami, essentially, and they took the punches. Their defense was really good. Um, Obviously, Jalen Suggs always good defensively. Desmond Bain looked pretty good. Tristan Da Silva, he had a crazy block. It was called a goaltending, but he had a crazy block. I was like, okay. He also had 7 rebounds, Tristan Da Silva. So this Orlando Magic team has it's been a little underwhelming, but they're finding their footing. I think winning um, this NBA Cup, was it quarter semis, whatever it's called, was good for them. I think stuff like this, especially for this Orlando Magic team, this version of it, when they haven't had a lot of playoff success, them getting a little bit deeper into the NBA Cup, is worth something. Is worth the experience. You know, the big games, the big moments, all that stuff. See, they move on to play New York. We'll talk about that matchup when we talk about the next game. But I do want to talk about the Heat um, and kind of why they lost, I guess. Um, they lost because they couldn't make a three. That's besides the obvious point. Um, their style of play I praised it a lot in one of my previous videos that like it's innovative, it's new, it's something that can surprise teams the first time around you play them. Um, Obviously, by the proof is that the second time you play this Miami Heat team, you might have them figured out. And they're not always going to shoot 20, whatever, 24% from three. They're going to shoot a lot better. Um, but you can kind of bait some of these guys into bad games. You can bet Tyler Hero. You can bait Tyler Hero into a bad shooting night. 7 for 17 from field goal. Did not make a single three. Took six of them. Only 20 points. Um, one turnover. Davion Mitchell 11 points. Nolan Powell 21. Not on the best efficiency either. 4 of 12 from three. 8 of 19 from field goal. And then you ask guys like Andrew Wiggins to kind of show up, and he did okay enough in this game. 19 points, 3 of 6 from three. Made the most threes out of anybody, well, next to Nolan Powell in this game. Better efficiency from Andrew Wiggins as well. You have Bam Adebayo, had a great first half, looked really dominant, looked really good. And then in the second half, he didn't look so good. Um, Took three threes, didn't make any of them. 19 points, 8 rebounds. He at some point he was literally just getting outworked by the Magic centers and everybody on the Magic. Um, some guys off the bench for the Heat. Jaime Jaquez 10. Khalil Ware, even though he's been having a more improved uh, season this season from his last season, did not play well this game. He got outworked as well, and the Magic just they just hustled more. They really just hustled more. It was sort of I don't want to use the word jarring. It was unique to see the Magic not play the way they want to play and just say, hey, we are going to go out here and we are going to beat the Miami Heat at their own game. We absolutely cannot play our own game. We don't have a real was I guess like secondary ball handler. Like obviously Anthony Black had a good game, like I said. Desmond Bain, not really a ball handler. Jalen Suggs, you don't really want him to have the ball all the time. You have Pop and Keller who can bring up the ball, but you don't want to ask him to do that too much. So you're really relying on Anthony Black and Desmond Bain for the most part. And they had really good games. Desmond Bain had a really good game, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So let's move on to Knicks Toronto or Knicks Raptors. The Knicks got the win 117 to the Raptors 101. The Raptors' hot start has sort of stalled. We're going to go in reverse of this one. We're going to talk about the loser first for the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors, they've kind of hit the brakes a little bit. They haven't been playing well. There was it 15 and 11. Jeez, and they're 8 and 6 at home. Not great. Um, Brandon Ingram, good game, 31 points. Scotty Barnes, not his best performance. I mean, he did a little bit of everything. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 fouls. Not superb. Jakob Poeltl, not great. Ochai Agbaji got the start, and Jamal Shed got a start as well. That's not what you want to see when you're trying to win an NBA Cup game. Um, and to be honest, they just ran out of bodies. Grady Dick only played 8 minutes. RJ Barrett did not play this game. Um, what's the other one? Emmanuel Quickly didn't play this game. And you were sort of heavily relying on like Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram both to have big games, and only one of them had a big game. And I am still. I think this team is really good. I think when they're healthy, they're even better. Obviously, duh. But they need to find ways to win games when Scotty Barnes or Brandon Ingram doesn't have a good game. They absolutely need to find ways to win those types of games because I look at this team and it's very young. It's very young. It's a lot of like if I showed this to somebody, they go, "Who? Huh? What?" Like if I showed this to somebody casually watching the NBA, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know Garrett Temple." Like like Sandro, Mamu, people like who? Collimer Boyle was their draft pick this past year. I guess some people might know them. Jonathan Mobo, people like who? AJ Lawson, they go who? Chucky Hepburn, they go who? I mean, Jacoby Walters, 13 points off the bench, leading score off the bench for the Raptors. Elijah Martin, people go who? And this is no disrespect to these guys. It's just like I'm looking for names to like ring some bells and be like, oh, okay, he does that, and I can't find it, and I can't find it. And this Knicks team, for what it is, isn't as deep as it was in the past, or isn't as is is more reliant on its bench and has bigger names, and you can ask more of the Knicks bench when needed. And we'll get to the Knicks in a second, but I'll finish up my Raptors point here. I again still think this is a good team. I don't know where you you're what the goal. Oh, I want to try to say I don't know what the goal is of this Raptors team. The goal is to be good. I think that's the prerogative this season. Is hey, let's just be good. Let's make the playoffs. Let's try hard. We lose in the first round. We lose in the first round because this team hasn't been to the playoffs in God knows how long. Maybe have they been to the playoffs in the Scotty Barnes era? I don't think so. No, I don't. I don't think so. So the goal is to make the playoffs. Sans that this is an NBA Cup game. You lost at home to the Knicks, who you're fighting with to stay at the top of the conference. You need to win these tough games, and it's sort of discouraging to see like Brandon Ingram sort of fall into his old habits of like I'm just gonna go out there and score. And understandably, this game is like okay, nobody else is really playing spectacularly. I need to go score. That's fine, but Brandon Ingram dips into these old habits of like just tunnel vision. I'm gonna score. I'm gonna score. I'm gonna score, and not really get his teammates involved towards the ends of games. And I can understand that this game is not a great example of it, but just something to think about as well when you watch Brandon Ingram, especially when Scotty Barnes doesn't have it going and Scotty Barnes is not in the flow. Scotty Barnes is like their main ball handler, creator, like outside of just scoring. He'll do that sort of stuff out of the post, off a rebound, throwing it down the court. Um, when he doesn't have it going, he's not really in a flow. You rely on Brandon Ingram, and Brandon Ingram really isn't a guy who can lead a team by himself and win games by himself. He can win quarters by himself. We've seen him like win quarters and win halves by himself. But when you're getting sort of blown out like this, and it was at some point I can look at what was the biggest lead of this game. The biggest lead of this game was 24 for the Knicks. Yeah, so you ask a Brandon Ingram to bring it back from 24 at one point, you're not going to get it done. And we'll see what happens with Toronto. I'm going to be keeping my eye on them closely. To move on to the winners, the Knicks, who will be heading to Las Vegas to play the Orlando Magic in the next round. They got out to Toronto. They did all their work early in this game. They surmounted a huge lead, 24 points, like I had mentioned. Um, they have their full starting five back. That's Jalen Brunson. That's, I guess, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Carl Anthony Towns. Um, the only guy who played plus 30 minutes was Jalen Brunson. He had 35. Or, pardon me, they all played 30 plus minutes. There was only one with 30 plus points, and that was Jalen Brunson. My apologies. I had that flipped backwards. Um, yeah, they got their work done early. If I go down the list here, the starting five: OG Anunoby, who's just returned from injury, 13; Carl Anthony Towns, 14; Josh Hart, 21. Josh Hart, oof, man, you always forget because Josh Hart goes on these really cold streaks where like he can't make a three. When Josh Hart hits his threes, Josh Hart was 4-7 from three. He the shot looks so good. It just goes in, the net snaps and everything. It looks great. 21 points for Josh, 15 for Mikal Bridges. Um, Off the bench, you didn't really get a lot. You got Jordan Clarkson 12-point game in 26 minutes. Did not make a three. Jordan Clarkson's been kind of disappointing, but it's early. It's still early in the season. If he's still playing like this after All Star break, then I get concerned. But you asked the starting five to do a lot. They did a lot. Um, and you got the win. Um, some players on this team that looked really good. Obviously, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby looked really good, even though he only made one three. and took 6 of them. He was 4-11 overall. He looked really good, looked healthy. Defense was out of this world, 2 blocks and 2 steals. Um, Jalen Brunson, Captain Clutch, also looked very good. 35 points, like I said. He had one move where he started he started on the right side of the paint. He almost half euro stepped, went to his left, and then just like got the ball up just enough so somebody flew by, and he just laid it up perfectly. And the standard Jalen Brunson stuff, but I think this Toronto team is very good defensively. And I forget who was on him, but when you have the paint packed with like Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes, and Brandon Ingram, and Jalen Brunson is still getting shots off like he did, you kind of just shake your head and be like, I guess the Knicks are winning this game tonight. um, any other notes I had about this game? Not really. I mean, the Knicks are the better team. That's really the bottom line. I don't know what I thought. I mean, if you probably would have asked me who would win, I might say at full strength, maybe Toronto could have had it, but the Knicks at full strength are just. But the Knicks at full strength is better than like how many was it like the other whatever many teams in the Eastern Conference. Like they're really good. Um, which brings me to my next point and my next thought here: Orlando Magic versus the Knicks. Um, what what is going to happen? I don't do predictions anymore. Like I said, I keep saying I don't do predictions. I do want to talk about this matchup though. This is going to be one of the better games this year, and I'm super excited for it. Um, both teams play hard. The Knicks and the Orlando Magic played a couple nights ago as well, and they got in a bit of a scuffle. Desmond Bain like threw a ball at the back of like OG Anunoby, just like for whatever reason, just threw the ball at him. Um, just took it and like dodgeball, just flung it at him when he was on the floor. It was crazy. Um, but I'm gonna lay my cards out on the table right now. I'm gonna lay my cards out on the table. Um, I don't think any team is gonna beat the Oklahoma City Thunder um, in the NBA Cup. The only team I think that has a chance, and call me crazy, is the New York Knicks. That's the only team that could do it. It's the only team that's slightly deep enough to do it. It's the only team that has enough bodies to throw at Shai Alexander. It's the only team that can match up really with the Oklahoma City Thunder's like either small ball or like the bigger uh, bully ball that they do. I don't know if the Knicks have the toughness to do it, like the grit I keep talking about in every video I talk about the Knicks. But matchup wise, I think the Knicks match up the best, and they're the healthiest right now, and probably the most mature to deal with the the, the Thunder. Yeah, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, the most mature. Yeah. Um, will the Knicks beat the Orlando Magic? um, if I had to put money on it, I just would bet on it. I would say probably Orlando's going to win. Maybe in a really close game, maybe not. It is at a neutral site, so that does place a factor in it as well. Um, I don't know. I want the Knicks to win personally, so we'll leave it at that. I want the Knicks to win personally. Orlando might have a better chance. Um, moving on here to that were those 2 games were both December 9th. Moving on to Wednesday, um, yesterday, December 10th. The first game of the night, we got Oklahoma versus the Suns of Phoenix. The Oklahoma City Thunder ran away with this game, 138 to the Suns, 89. Suns still without Devin Booker. The Oklahoma City Thunder without Isaiah Hartenstein, their starting center. They have gotten Jalen Williams back the last couple games. He hasn't played too particularly well, but he was still out there doing what he could defensively and moving the ball and stuff like that. Nevertheless, The Oklahoma City Thunder ran away with this game. This game went exactly how I thought it would. I'd be like, oh, the Suns will give it a little fight, and then the Oklahoma City Thunder will just roll over them, just steamroll them, and that's what happened. Um, I don't even want to talk about the game. If you've been following basketball and you know what the Thunder do to almost every team, they did it to the poor Suns. The Suns got such a bad draw, considering this is the team they had to play in like the first knockout round of the NBA Cup. They got such a bad draw. This is like embarrassing for the NBA Cup. It's like, oh yeah, just watch the Oklahoma City Thunder beat like this retooling, injured, inexperienced sort of Phoenix Suns team. Yeah, let's just watch that. Let's watch a whole 48-minute game of that. Why not? This game was done by halfway through the third quarter. It was over at halftime. If you really wanted to watch more, you probably watch like 6 minutes of the third quarter and then turn it off. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. um, the stats. Let's just run through the stats real quick, and then I want to talk about some thoughts I have as well. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, Chet Holmgren 24, Shea Alexander 28, Lou Dort 12, Jalen Williams 15, Kason Wallace 9. Off the bench, a lot of these guys got some real long playing time because the game was such a blowout. Usman Dang 11, Brent Carlson 11, AJ Mitchell 6, Kenrich Williams 5, Aaron Wiggins 6. Um, and then for the Suns wasn't great. Dylan Brooks 16, Grayson Allen 10, uh, Jordan Goodwin 15, and then Jamar Bouye 14 off the bench. Both of those guys. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about the Suns. Suns, I'll give you a round of applause. You tried. You did your best. You got a really bad draw. Anybody would have lost to this team, this Oklahoma City Thunder team. What I want to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder is um, how I hate to be complimentary because I feel like everybody's so complimentary of this Thunder team, but I'll be complimentary. How amazing it is that this Thunder team plays the same way regardless of who's out there. There was a lineup where it was like Shea, Lou Dort, Kason Wallace, Jalen Williams, Jaylin Williams, Jalen Williams, number 6, and like Aaron Wiggins for like a couple minutes. They played the exact same way as they did when the starting five was out there. There was a lineup like way at the end of the game where it was like the role players, where it was like AJ Mitchell, Usman Dang, Brent Carlson, let's see here, Aaron Wiggins and like Kenrich Williams or somebody, and they played the exact same way. They were just moving the ball, they were kicking, they were passing, they were penetrating, they were laying it up, they were getting second chance points. It was really amazing, and that's credit to Coach Mark Dagnall for just having these guys play the same way no matter who's out there. Obviously, when you have like Chet or like Isaiah Hartenstein out there, it's a little different. They're obviously the bigger bodies of the team, so you play a little bit different, but the ball still moves around the same way. And um, something I wanted to touch on here that I literally just saw when I pulled up this box score and stuff. Um, and this is all this is sort of a tangent. I'm gonna go on a tangent. I hope you don't mind. Um, I opened this box score, right, and the video that started playing on the right hand side of the screen was from today, from this morning, from an ESPN show, and the the bottom of the screen, the title was, "Is this Oklahoma City Thunder team the best team ever?" And that just blew my mind. It it blew my. Obviously, they're on a historic pace to win a historic amount of games. Can we slow down? Can we get? Can we slow down, please? We're like 20 something games in, guys. We don't need to talk about the team as the greatest team ever. We don't. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I hate seeing this fast food um, take culture of like, let's just get people to click the video. Guess what? That doesn't make me want to click the freaking video. I don't want to click the video. I want to turn the video off. I don't want to watch it, you know? And it just makes me really upset. It makes me really, really upset um, seeing that sort of stuff. And it, it made me, that's the sort of stuff that makes me dislike this Oklahoma City Thunder team, personally. When you try to crown people way too early, that's what upsets me. And this team's great. Shea Alexander's great. This whole team's great. Chet and Shea combined for like 50 something points this game. Great, right? I don't I don't I don't want to talk about are they the greatest team ever yet. It's stupid. It's stupid in my opinion. All right, last game here. Obviously, the Oklahoma City Thunder advanced to Las Vegas to play the San Antonio Spurs. Um, Spurs went out to LA to play the Lakers. They beat the Lakers with pace. There's the word again, pace. They beat him with 3-point shooting. They just not only was they outworked, they played smarter than the Lakers. I'll put it that way. The Lakers were fully healthy. They had all their guys. The San Antonio Spurs were still without Victor Wembanyama, their star player, but they got the job done. They had the rest of their guys. They had De'Aaron Fox. They had Devin Vassell. They had Stephon Castle. They had Keldon Johnson. They had Dylan Harper. They had all their guys essentially, and they went out there and they said, you know what, we can win this game. This Lakers team is kind of slow. We're kind of bad defensively. And man, did the Spurs expose the Lakers? Crazy night, especially for guys like Keldon Johnson. Hit a couple threes in the first half where you're like, okay, Keldon, okay. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox out there doing his thing, 20 points. Um, Harrison Barnes a steady 16. Uh, the winner of the night, in I think of the whole night essentially, was Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle looked really good. Um, Stefan and Dylan, not Dylan, Devin Vassell, top of your screen, right there. Um, yeah, they look. Sorry, they look superb. They look like a young, hungry team. And that's what they should look like. Um, other notes here: um, Dylan Harper 13, Kelvin Johnson 17, Julius Penny 16. Um, more about their play style. Um, the Lakers were trying to play some bully ball. We're trying to like get down low and like really try to outwork guys like Luke Cornett, who isn't really known as a defender, more as just a shot blocker, just standing in the paint. LeBron got a couple easy baskets. Um, there were some moments where you were like, okay, the Lakers, they're finding their place. They're trying to find something at least to go towards. Like, okay, we can get downhill, we can get in the paint, and then it started to go away because they were just getting hit offensively. The Lakers got so demolished offensively. Their defense was not up to snuff. It was not good enough. Um, DeAndre Ayton only one steal, no blocks. LeBron had 3 blocks. The 40-something-year-old had 3 blocks. Um, Austin Reeves had 1 block. I'm just reading you the defensive stats here. Luka had 1 steal. Um, and nobody really tried defensively. And this is the worry about this Lakers team is like the Lakers should be able to beat the Spurs without Victor Wembanyama. Because when the Lakers did when the Lakers did play the Spurs with Victor Wembanyama, it was a really close game. It was a really tight game. And I just don't know what happened this game for the Lakers. Besides they were just bad defensively. Um, you asked Luka to do a lot again. 35 points, 3 of 8 from three, 11 for 24. Took 14 free throws, made 10 of them. 3 turnovers, only 8 assists, 5 rebounds. They made Luka a scorer, and Luka's at his worst when he's purely a scorer. When he's not rebounding, when he's not playmaking, when you force Luka into a box just to score, that's when you've won the game. And if he's not having a crazy night where he's like 40 or 50 and he only has 30, that's a bad night for Luka. And I know that sounds so crazy to say, but that's a bad night. When he has a game where he's just been a scorer and has done nothing else the whole game, you're like, okay, we've won. We've taken him out of the game. Now let's take Austin Reeves out of the game. Austin Reeves only had 15. He was 2 of 6 from three, 6 of 16 overall from field goal, 3 turnovers. Um, both Luka and Austin Reeves had 5 fouls this game. 5 fouls. So it wasn't a lack of trying. It was just they were literally bad. And then once you take Luka and Austin Reeves out of it, then you turn to LeBron. Like he's 40 years old. What is he gonna do? And LeBron did have some moments again where he got downhill, where he got in the paint, where he's using his body and his skill set down low, and it looks good. And then it was like, okay, you gotta do a little more, and he did do more. It is what it is. And then off the bench, um, the only guy off the bench that got you any sort of pop, any sort of life was Marcus Smart. 26 points, 9 of 16 from field goal, 8 of 14 from three. I repeat, 8 of 14 from three from Marcus Smart. Blows my socks off, dude. Blows my socks off. Um, I'm gonna say this right now. Um, I know this isn't Marcus Smart's game every game. You gotta get Marcus Smart in the starting lineup, dude. You got. I know he gets in foul trouble sometimes. I know. Uh, LeBron, you got to play the four, buddy. You got to play the four. JJ Redick, Coach JJ Redick. You got to find some defensive scheme where you can hide LeBron and it can be Luka, Austin Reeves, and like Marcus Smart because Rui doesn't give you everything every night. Um, DeAndre Ayton is not a positive on defense. He sometimes can be decent, but he's not a positive. Um, and Marcus Smart is really your only good defender out there. When you throw him out there with some of these combinations you try to throw out there, because Jared Vanderbilt is supposed to be your defensive guy. It has been bad for like 2 years straight now. You look at Rui, no defensive stats except one block. Um, yeah, not great, not great. Um, what do I think about the Lakers? 7-17, not a huge loss, not a deafening loss. They did rally back at the end of this game to try to make it competitive. That's why the box score looks like it does. The San Antonio Spurs won this game 132, pardon me, to the Lakers 119. Um, they the Lakers tried to make a semi push at the end, but it was just way too out of reach, and the Spurs just had more willing bodies to go out there and really play the game. Um, yeah, that's it. I have no thoughts about the Lakers really. Spurs getting the draw of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Um, can they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder as currently is? I do not think so. Um, as I'm sitting here and as I'm trying to recall some things about this Spurs team, um, I did hear the possibility of Victor playing in this game. He did not play in this game, although I'm reading it right now. Spurs head coach Mitch Johnson said Wednesday there is very much a chance Wembanyama returns for Saturday's NBA Cup game semifinals against the Thunder. If Victor Wembanyama comes back on next Wednesday, um, and is in, I don't want to say in shape, is just ready to play basketball. Like he just jumps right in, he just gets off to a good start. I think the Spurs can beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. And now I just went on a whole tangent about how nobody's gonna beat the Oklahoma City Thunder except the Knicks. I think the Spurs have the best chance if they play well, if they don't have any other hiccups up until next Wednesday. Vic comes back. Vic is healthy. It's always cinema. It's always great when the Thunder play the Spurs. It's always great. Even if the Spurs don't win, it will be the toughest punch the Oklahoma City have got through this NBA Cup thus far. Um, yeah. Alternatively, like I said, if the Spurs win, maybe against the Oklahoma City Thunder, Spurs Knicks is good. Spurs Orlando is good. I like either of those matchups. I don't want to be a hater. I would just rather not see the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Cup in the final. I just wouldn't care. Is that bad? I don't know. Um, we are running low on time. I did want to talk about the NBA Cup and how they could change it and does it need to be divisional? I did want to talk about it. We'll save that for another video. Um, but yeah, that's it. That's the NBA Cup. We're heading to Las Vegas. The final three games, final 3 games of the NBA Cup this year, the Emirates NBA Cup. Um, Thank you for following along. Thank you for watching this video. You guys will get a video this weekend about BYU's AJ Dembانsa and some draft stuff about him, about the NBA draft next year in total, all that good stuff. So, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.